we've got ourselves a reunion of the superhero kind. There's Spider-Man, the Winter Soldier, and Batman no less. The Devil All the Time is a thriller directed by Antonio Campos, and is an adaptation of the novel of the same name by Donald Ray Pollock. It stars Tom Holland, Robert Pattinson, along with an ensemble cast of talented actors. The story follows several sinister characters that converge around a young man, who is devoted to protecting those he loves, in a post-war US town filled with corruption and brutality. So just to give you guys a heads up, there'll be no spoilers in this review, so I'll keep plot details and character info to an absolute minimum. Starting with the positives, this movie is undeniably strengthened by its acting and direction. Tom Holland is the standout in the movie as Arvin Russell. The transformation that his character goes through in the movie, it allows Holland to showcase the full range of emotions, from happy to sad and then angry. Holland conveys all of these qualities with such conviction. Also not forgetting his brilliant authentic southern accent. This is the kind of performance that makes me long for Holland to do these sort of roles outside of his Spider-Man commitments. And he is without doubt one of the best rising actors in the movie industry today. Robert Pattinson turns in another strong performance as Reverend Preston Teagod. The more that meets the surface nature of his character allows Pattinson to go into emotional territories that, I'll be honest, I've not seen before from his previous performances. And I mean that in a good way. It means Pattinson gives a performance that's creepy, disturbing, yet oddly likeable, as his presence in the movie was constantly magnetic. Director Antonio Campos fills every frame of this movie with dread and terror. He often achieves this just with the conversations that take place between characters, as I could physically feel the suspense building up in myself as I was watching these type of scenes. Another aspect of the direction that I loved is how the violence always serves a purpose to how it plays out in the story, as the violence pretty much consistent with the action and motivations of the various characters. This for me is the best kind of violence in movies, if that's such a thing, as it never came across in a gratuitous manner. One thing that definitely pays off in this movie was the decision to shoot on location. It adds to the authenticity of where the story takes place in a small American town, as well as giving the movie a tangible and realistic quality. You can tell Campos and the production crew go to great lengths to recreate the different time periods that the story covers. All of this level of detail just enhanced the movie-going experience by making these locations lived in, as well as having a sense of history to them. Let me tell you folks, the musical score was a joy to hear, as it only enhances the dark, bleak tone of the movie. At the same time though, the score thankfully never overshadows the themes and motifs present in the story. Now, multi-layered stories with a dozen characters can go one of two ways. They can either be coherent by bringing together the different elements in a satisfying manner, or they can be modelled by incorporating too many moving parts into the story. I would say this movie's narrative is a combination of the two scenarios mentioned. As is the case with most multi-layered stories, there's often a lot to absorb, as there's a lot of plot details that are presented to us in the early portions of the movie. To the movie's credit, these disparate elements do become more coherent as the story progresses, as the expositional narration from Donald Ray Pollock does shoulder some of the burden off the audience. The pacing issue that I had with this movie, again it goes back to what I said earlier, there's so much plot and character info that flies by during those first 30 minutes. I think for me, obviously without spoiling anything, the emotional moments that the characters go through in that final act would have been even more resonant for me if the direction and script just gave these characters more development and screen time. It's as simple as that. While the acting on the whole ranges from solid to great, with the exception of Tom Holland and Sebastian Stan's characters, the rest of the cast, they basically have little to work with on a dramatic level, which, I'll be honest, was a bit of a shame for me given the wealth of acting talent on screen. So just to give you my overall thoughts on The Devil All the Time, Tom Holland is the standout performer as Arvin Russell, as he shows the full range of emotions in a convincing manner. Robert Pattinson gives a strong performance as Reverend Preston Teagod, as he ventures into emotional territories that I've not seen before from his previous performances. Antonio Campos ensures that the violence always serves a purpose to the story, as well as these violent acts being consistent with the motivations of the characters. The decision to shoot the movie on location pays off, as it adds to the authenticity of the small US town that the story is set in. The musical score is a great listen, as it only enhances the dark bleak tone of the movie. It's sometimes easy to lose track of the movie, especially how quickly plot and characters come and go during those first 30 minutes, as this lessens the emotional impact of the character's experience in the final act. The rest of the cast unfortunately have little to work with on a dramatic level, and that's due to their limited character arcs in the story. Overall, I'm going to give The Devil All the Time a 7.5 out of 10. So, and I hand it over to you guys. I'm interested to hear your thoughts in terms of whether or not you enjoyed The Devil All the Time, and what were your thoughts on Tom Holland's performance as well as Robert Pattinson, so interested to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, and be sure to hit the notification bell for updates on the latest videos. Thank you guys so much for watching this movie review, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.